Good morning or afternoon or whatever time it is where you are. Welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm a painter. I paint miniatures, and I'm kind of like an all around artist. I do a bunch of other stuff, but what makes money, the only thing that people seem to want to buy is this. At least for now. I'm still working on like other art. I'm trying to get enough art together to like do other things besides this, but this is easy. As far as like a money maker, you don't have you can make stock very quickly and you can unload it very quickly. Which in the art world, that's what you kind of want, you kind of need, at least for your bread and butter, while you work on other stuff. So I am working on a witch, and I have a bunch of things that I kind of work on, but yeah, I'm working on these idea for these witches and fairies. Using like basically, I got like a forest out in my backyard, and so like there's a lot of stuff you can collect out of there, and wood and various types of growths and things like that that'll look good as like little woodland fairy heads and stuff. It's that creative stuff is odd like that. You kind of start looking at things and you're like, oh wow. That would look cool as this, and then you start putting together. And some people don't get it. They look at you and they're just like, you're freaking crazy. And some people do. They're like, oh wow, that's really super creative of you. I think that's cool that you can think like that. And other people are also creative, and they're like, oh yeah, no, I totally see it. And then you have a discussion about how each of you would do what you're talking about doing. Just always fun. Anyway, I'm watching Tesla collapse today too. It's finally happening. I've been waiting. I was like, oh, this is gonna happen, and around earnings, and then it didn't, because I don't know why. I think they manipulated it. If you're asking me honestly, I think they manipulated the stock so that the rich people could get out, and all the fanboys bought into it, believing it was real, and so it was the rich were able to swap out their stocks, which is interesting. It's not cool, but they do that. Man, they do that stuff all the time. They do that stuff like all the time. We just don't know about it, the people who really manipulate the stock market, and what they are doing isn't like technically manipulation by the legal definition, but damn, y'all, come on now. Come on now. Anyway, enough talking about the rich and the way they screw us over. Talk about we're talking about like the ultra wealthy, and it's actually not even like they are the people who benefit. But like most of them aren't actually the ones performing the task. It's some like almost wealthy person doing it, who is because wealthy these days is a very interesting concept. But it's it's the guys running your accounts and stuff like that. They're the ones that are involved in all that, and they're trying to get rich, on your money, and their knowledge and abilities. That's the trade. And so the people putting money in, they're not always the bad guy. it's really easy to like point fingers and stuff like that, and things like that. But they're not always the bad guy, just simply because of the situation. It's not how it works. Oh gosh. Alright, so we're still working on this here dragon. He's really starting to look cool. Alright, so yesterday we were working on bringing out the crimson in the wings, which you can see really well today, like really prominent. Oh, that's familiar. We went crimson. Just very slowly. Take your time. Catch the edges. It's really sometimes hard to tell. You even put paint on it, so look for the wet, the glistening. Especially if your paints are you're keeping them nice and thin. Model paints in particular are usually pretty thin. Mine are very thick in general, and I thin them down. So they start off thick, and then I thin them to the consistencies I want. But that's not for everyone. Not everybody's gonna like that. So the key is to learn the techniques, and then use the paints that you like. Because paint's so strange. It is definitely a how do you feel about it kind of thing. Like not everybody has the same opinion with paints. And that's totally cool. But colors are colors, you know. Like you can find a crimson. You can find these same crimson colors in just about any paint company. I'm using the color names I'm using are going to be the more traditional names, unless it is something like the lead belcher that we use, which is Citadel color. Really great place to get to this little spot of this wing here. It's not easy. Well, it's not easy to do and do it on camera. That's another thing, man. This is way easier to do when you're not trying to hold it. Oof, my hand shaking. When you're not trying to hold it in a place for the camera. Not rub off part of your already painted pieces while you're trying. I don't mind if it rubs off the base, but I don't really mess with it. And anywhere it rubs off is going to be where we're going to be touching it. So but the dragon himself, or him or herself, like, have a, doesn't matter, might not be able to. And where you are having to touch it, try to touch it lightly. You'll grip it tightly. All this down here is from gripping it hard. Let's see where the paint's starting to wear off. And it's rock, so you know we can make it look like it was supposed to be that way. Textures into that. We're gonna texture the crap out of it anyway. Yeah. It's got a great little texture to it, which is what we're looking for. And I'll tell you what, that outside of the wing is way harder than the inside. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about, but it is real. You would think it'd be the other way around. You'd think the outside would be easier, but the inside is easier just because of where they're placed. But also don't have to do quite as much in here because it's going to be in the shadows a little more. I suppose you can do this with a dry brush if you really want to. I'm trying to be a little bit more controlled. We're gonna go for broke today. We're probably just gonna keep going till we're done. I lost the SIM card out of my phone. Long story that I don't really want to get into. But so now I don't actually have the ability to use my phone if I leave the house. And I cannot make phone calls or receive text messages. I have to use Messenger apps to talk to people right now. It's rough. Yeah, it's my own fault. I was trying to get ready to drive and have to switch phones to do that because of camera issues and it just did not work out. Somewhere in my car is my SIM card, and I couldn't find it in the middle of the night, so I came home hoping that I was going to be able to get out and look for it in the morning before the rain came, but the rain came before the morning long story short, there's a lot more in all of that, but that's the long story short. We should work on the claws and the other parts of the membrane. We're cruising, and we may not be that far over the day for the day. Man, ugh. Ugh. Wow. The unfortunate part of having to be on social media is the ridiculousness that you have to put up with. It's just like, cause some of the people that like make stuff, I don't know if it's because they're, you know, like TikTok and stuff like that, these shorts. And I don't know that it, like, they spread this bullshit around because they like believe it, or if they spread it around just because they know people are going to like believe it and then they're gonna run off with it. Like, I don't know, weird archaeology and stuff like that, or some of these things where it's obvious that what they're portraying as happening isn't actually happening. And like, you get all these suggestions from all the different, follow this, follow that, watch this, watch that, and you see it right across your little screen. You know, what is the tag, title, banner, and you're just like, what the hell is this shit? I'm getting another round of the Giza pyramid crap, where they used the ultrasound, basically. It's basically ultrasound that they used to detect something underneath the earth, and then some weird AI thing that, you know, isn't really peer-reviewed information, if you really want to get down to it, is saying that it's, you know, millions of miles of pillars or whatever, and it's like, that's not real. There's a thing in Egypt, there's this water table, and if you get too far down into the water table, then it's going to flood. Like, anything underneath there is just going to be full of water. That's the only way they can grow crops off the Nile, is because the Nile floods and it fills the water table, and the water table stays there, and you can continue to grow stuff, you know what I mean? And you can use your wells to get water to feed people, and otherwise you couldn't live there. Not too far away from the river. You'd have to be like right on the river the whole time. But that's not how it works in like further out from Egypt, because they're not like, all of Egypt isn't right on the Nile. That's not how it works. Some of it's out further away. And so there's a water table. The water table gets filled with water because the Nile floods, and you know, that's where the wells fill up their water. It's like people forget simple stuff. And you know, like, you know that if, and this is one of my things, like, what gets me with those things and all this weird pseudoscience bullshit that they throw up on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram or whatever, is that, like, if you gave most people all the information that was available on the situation, you explained to them about all the different parts of it, and, you know, the scientists that took the original readings might have a very different opinion as to what those readings actually mean than people that are promoting all of this weird shit. It's, and you know that like people aren't they're if you catch them while they're scrolling, not paying a whole lot of attention, you're gonna catch them at their most gullible. And I think a lot of these people have figured that out, and it's not good. It's just not good. Apologies to anybody who believes in that stuff, like some of that pseudo archaeology stuff. Because guys, listen, that's probably not real. Every now and again, you'll get a really interesting thing that you're like, oh wow, I can't believe that's real. But it's not gonna be pillars underneath who is that? Khufu's pyramid or Khufu? It's not real. It's not real. It'll be something that they found in the jungle or something like that. They found at the bottom of a lake. That's how that stuff actually happens. They're digging up something to replace plumbing in an ancient abbey. You know, that's and we'll see what it is. I'm sure eventually somebody will pay money for us to find out what it is. Some rich guy will will be like, "Oh, we really want to know," and that's how that happens. Because that's the world that we live in. So that's another thing. Well, you got to be irritated at the hedge fund guys and all the people moving money around. You also have to understand that is the world we live in. So if you have a little bit of disposable money, I'd start watching that market. And as soon as it starts doing well consistently, and it will eventually, it always does. You know, take that little bit of money you got, just buy a few stocks that pay dividends, and just sit on it. And it'll just make money for you while you're sitting around waiting. And you take the dividends, and when the dividends come in, you throw that back into the pot, and you just let it keep generating. And then eventually it makes money. It takes a long time. But it always pays to get in at the bottom. And we're pretty close right now. Maybe. That's the other thing is that it will act like it's at the bottom several times before it's actually at the bottom. So finding the bottom is the trickiest part. That and knowing when to get out at the top. Seeing where the top of something is and getting out. Call that entries and exits. Here's another little scout. What are you doing here, buddy? Man, I'm gonna have to spray around the outside of the dang house. Man, y'all make it to where I have to be mean to you. I hate that. Stay out there. Stop coming in. Let's see if I can't find that. actually kill them. It just deters them from coming in because they don't like the smell of it. It's made with like cinnamon and orange pills and shit like that. Should probably just learn how to make it. Fingertips getting numb. And that's the thing that I also remember when you get older. Fingertips you start getting numb. Gotta stop painting. Stop painting for a second. Let just flex your hand. Let it hang down. It's either arthritis or a touch of carpal tunnel. Either way, you just kind of stretch your hand and kind of do this. I do that with my hand down, so it'll. Yeah. Let's see. Most of my accounts are doing fine. Tesla's dropping down again. Looks like it's bobbing. Yep. 258 to 257. And the last high was 256. Yeah. It's in the 255s now. We'll see what happens. It can rally up or not. I don't trade Tesla. I like watching it. It's funny. Especially on some of these like trader apps where the people can talk to each other. Just watching people torment each other is hilarious. Especially because like pretty sure none of those guys know what they're talking about. Hey, hello, Sir McBeardsly. Everything's going well. It's not going well. I somehow lost my SIM card. Not to go completely over this story again, but I was in the middle of having to move it from one phone to another. And it is now somewhere in the bowels of my automobile. Down underneath the driver's seat, or God only knows. Honestly, it could, there's no telling where that damn thing went. It's gone. I had to order another one. So my phone is dead. Yeah, they're so small. Yeah, it's hard to tell where it went, how it went. Ugh. So, that was rough. But that's, things happen. So you kind of gotta be like, okay, well. What else you gonna do, right? Just keep kind of working this yellow up. That's what we're doing now. Get everything up to get that nice yellowy color all over him. He's a whole lot of fun. it's really easy, honestly, at this point. The model's really going to do a lot of the work. We're just trying to look and make sure we've got everything done. You might get a little yellow on these rocks too. We're going to come back and do that later. After we get everything set up. Same thing with those claws. We're going to redo those. Put back on those claws and stuff. After we're happy with everything else. Get all this yellow done. Break time again. Whew. Those wings and such tough. Tough. Down it goes again. Boom. Google's supposed to release, I think today, Google does their earnings release, and that's going to be a big deal. We'll see what happens. Oof. Finally have small plans showing cilantro. Yeah, cilantro is crazy. Oh yeah, sure. Peas like to trellis. Definitely gotta trellis your peas. Trellis the peas, please. Ugh, let me over. It's alright. That's alright. Always be something to hit that eye too. Gonna give these horns the same treatment we gave the wings. I'm thinking. Similar, maybe slightly different, but similar. We're gonna go black first, and then we'll add the other colors in. So we want to start it out super dark, and then the reds will be very, very faint. Careful. Mind your edge of your wing. Man, you don't cut yourself more, okay? watched old Buford over there. He is smiling. Bonus points if you recognize that movie. I do a little spittle on my map there. Just to darken that up. We're going to need shadow there anyway, so a little black that won't hurt them. Everybody knows I'm usually very opposed to black. Right here. Underneath this tail. Careful not to touch the tail. We'll let the paint's gray do the rest. It's pretty dark. Bit of overpaint here. The only columns you can really see. This one right here. And this one right here. So careful with black on yellow like that. And I guess we can kind of see this one. Okay. I'll break. Again. I'll mess with those eyes. I'll come back and start working on all the horns, and then we do the base, and we're done. Horns and claws. Eyes, horns, claws, base. God damn it. coffee like halfway down my face. It's ran through my beard. That's always a strange feeling when something runs through my beard, like liquid. Like, ooh, unless you like jump in a pool or something like that, it's more. It feels normal, but. Oh, yeah, this rain will be good for all plants. It's just barely touching it with the paint. Oh, my eyes itching. Ah. Oh. Don't dig massage. Don't dig massage. Golly. Oh, it itches so bad. Wow, I should kick in my butt. Ah. We need to kill like some eye drops or something in here. Holy shit. God, it itched. That itched bad. Like right when I was in the middle of something really hard. Ah. Good looking avo. All this other stuff should be right up in there. We're just going to do the tops of these two. That's a little too yellow. We'll come back and play with that one in a minute. Or gray, actually, I thought I saw gray in there. It might just be white, light reflecting, but man, gray makes me crazy. When I see gray at this point, I'm like, ah! Unless it was supposed to be gray. Get my little, like, angry gremlin out. As mad as fuck. This stuff is so subtle. Most people probably won't even notice it. The people who really know what they're looking at will. And they're usually like, oh man, that's good. Oh, that was great. Very excited to go do this little show. That's gonna be neat. Okay, so the crimson again is it's gonna be highlights. So just the very top edges of it. Maybe just make it a little down on it. Thing to remember is that it always sets different after it's dried. So you may look at it at first and be like, oh my god, I put too much everywhere. And then I recommend just wait a second. Don't get too crazy. Unless you got it somewhere it doesn't need to be. Because it's gonna fade down. A lot. Okay, right there. That's right. You can already see it kind of starting to fade down just a little. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so now we're going to come back with this Phoenix Gray again. Need a little bit more. We're gonna go a little long today. That's all right. Super careful around your orange. Yellows. You don't want to accidentally paint those with more paint spray. Good time to take a little break. Oh gosh, sleepy. I didn't sleep well last night after all that. It was very... I kept waking up in the middle of the night. Wondering if I was going to be able to find that silly thing. I should definitely try to get out there now once it's daylight. Maybe I can see it better. Oh yeah, it takes lots of patience. Appreciate you though. Dave, thanks for coming by. Randomly got me on the main page. That's good stuff. I like the algorithm there. Yeah, he's looking great. He's slowly coming along. Let me finish up this rock. I'll let him dry. It's a long process. I gotta get a better camera. Because they always look so much better in person. And I think that's my camera. My camera is not the greatest. Maybe my internet connection is probably not the greatest either. But it's a lot of fun. This is just a fun little guy, or girl. You could decide whatever it was is you want. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't actually have pieces you can see. Most lizards don't. For those of you who don't know about how lizards and their stuff works, most of the stuff's hidden up inside, so you don't really know until like the time comes for you to know, and then you're like, oh, okay. I had an iguana once that we named Floyd because we thought it was a guy. Because the guy who gave it to me said it was a male, and it got a little sick, so we took it to the vet to figure out what was going on. It turns out it was definitely a female, and so we ended up having to name it Pink Floyd. So its name was Pink because it's a girl, and Floyd is being its last name because it had been previously named Floyd. Not that lizards come to the name that you call them. Just so anybody who's looking to get into lizards, they definitely do not. They don't pay attention to any name you give them down here. Definitely don't care. I don't even know that they necessarily hear in a way that would make them distinguish that kind of stuff. They basically, like, I think they hear movement, if I remember right. That's super cool. I'm so glad we're hitting people's main pages. That's neat. Thanks for coming by, KTB456. It sounds like some sort of combat droid from Star Wars or something. Yeah, you gotta have patience. Got patience to paint miniatures, and you gotta have patience to be on the internet like that. That is definitely the trick there. He or she got me with a double whammy on that one. You gotta have patience for both these things. I really feel like I'm getting better all the time. Really at both, honestly. I feel like we're getting better at producing the videos, and or at least the shorts. These live videos this will take a little bit of more time. Like I said, I really think we can get a better camera is really going to help the live video, because this camera right here needs to be better. Yeah, and that is patience. It's exactly right. Just gotta be patient. generate the money. Problem is the studio's always in need of some upgrade. But I think I might have found our camera. I was looking around online yesterday. So we upgraded the mic last year. This year we're going to upgrade the camera. Seems like a logical process and step up, you know. Man, that's exciting. I dig that we got Smooth's main page. That's cool. It happens every now and again. It means the algorithm is still testing us out on people, figuring out where we go. It hasn't given up on us yet. Encouragement. That was exactly what I needed. Really much appreciated. I don't get as many comments as I wish I could, but I think that's again, patience thing you'll get. I don't think you get that early. That's once you kind of get established. You get comments every now and again, and that's what when you research YouTube channel, that's what they say is your early adopters. They're the ones that are commenting first, and then you start getting people who feel more comfortable commenting, and because they see more comments from people who seem to be enjoying the show and know what's going on. You create a little community kind of thing. I suppose I could pull out the dry brush again to do this. I'm trying to be a little bit more purposeful. This particular one, and the dry brush with these angles, you're not going to have as much control with a dry brush. So you've got to really take your time. Focus on places that you know that light's going to hit it, and we're going to spice that up a lot more. Like I said, yeah, you could do that with a dry brush, but you're not going to be able to get into like right in here. That's not going to happen. Like right under here and all this. You're going to have to pull out your regular brush. Unless you have like the world's tiniest dry brush. Which if you do, I want to see it. Send me a picture. And I want one. I love dry brushes. They're my favorite, really. I don't know. Airbrushes are pretty cool too. We just don't use the airbrush on the show because it's loud. Too loud for me anyway. It makes me where I don't want to talk. I want to put headphones on. It's so weird as a chef. I didn't mind noises and stuff so much. You get used to the kitchen noises. But then like I got out of being a chef and now I'm like, what's that machine sound? Turn it off. That's so weird. Yeah, you're definitely not getting in there with a dry brush. That ain't happening. Oh. There's that scout again. Bro, you're in the wrong place, man. You're gonna die. You got like borax over there, bro. There's an ant trap in here, man. You're gonna... Silly guy. You silly guy. Silly, silly guy. Get out of here. Silly ant, man. I always hate when they're... they're in here and you know that they don't need to be. Like, oh my gosh, there's poison in here. You're gonna die. I don't like putting out poison in the first place. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Can't have ants all over the place. That won't do. All right. There he is. She, it. Good looking dragon. A couple little places, just make sure we've got those. Yeah, there's just a few little spots that got worn a little bit. Really need to get it off base. Which I'm gonna do off camera. It'll be off base by the time it gets to it. Short speed. I gotta turn one. But anyway, there it is. Little dragon guy. Our gal. Little dragon baby. Little dragon baby. Great look. Yeah, that was a fun. That's a fun fade. So the next dragon, I guess we'll have to do. We'll do like a blue dragon. I guess I'll do a blue dragon, a green dragon, a purple dragon. Just do them all. Just take them and see if we can sell them. Let's see, why not, right? Oop. Pull me down here. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm only 12 minutes over for our usual session. That's great. Usually running about an hour. If you like what we're seeing, give us a like and a subscribe. That would be super awesome. Appreciate it. It's really, really, really neat to build like a little community for this vlog, for a little studio here, as we put stuff together and keep working on new things and making exciting stuff. So, I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you enjoyed our little dragon. He's super cool. He's a great size too. Like he's such like this perfect little take home size, which is why I feel like I'll sell one of those. But try not to make too many of one thing. Try to sell, keep like a variety. And plus, I don't like just printing off stuff and painting the same thing all the time. It makes me crazy. And it's good to have a variety of stuff to sell. At least knick-knack shows and art shows. That's just how it goes. So, Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much. And be good to each other. Be good to somebody. Be good to yourself. Just go be good. Do something good out in the world. The world needs you to do it. It really does. It needs me to do it too. So I'm gonna try to go do something good myself. Be kind to somebody maybe. Anyway, you guys are awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's see. Tomorrow is what's tomorrow? Friday. So we'll see you tomorrow with something new. I don't know what we're gonna paint, but we'll paint something new. Something different. Maybe some ghosts or some goblins or some ghouls or something. Who knows? Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.